think about going up to Cleveland? I know you haven't. I know you said some things in the past. That you haven't beaten those guys. What are your thoughts heading into this week about getting one up there?
They got really talented players on defense. Obviously, the two pass rushers, they're guys you can't let wreck the game. They have in the past, so you always got to be aware of those guys. Defensive backs are really good. They make all the throws hard, nothing easy. They always compete, so it'll be a tough one.
Fair to say you've never had a three-game losing streak against any team at any level?
I don't know. Tough to say. Probably true. Can't say for sure.
Is that, I mean, I know how competitive you are. Is that something that kind of eats at you?
I mean, those are in the past. I mean, obviously, you would have liked to have won those games, but every game, every week is a new week.
I know you just talked about some of their strengths on defense, but is there anything in particular that you've noticed when you went back and watched all your games against them, if you even did that, that's been the main reason why you guys have struggled to beat them since you've been here?
Last year, they did a good job of creating turnovers, and we didn't do a good enough job protecting the ball. So you got to credit them for that. And then going back to my rookie year, same thing. They've been able to create turnovers on us. We moved the ball for the most part, but we just got to be able to protect the ball, and defense will do what they do.
That pick six last year, Jamar said that was on him. Is that him looking out for you, or what do you remember about that play?
I'm going to try to talk about this year's matchup. Obviously, last year is last year.
Joe, you've been on a hot streak these last couple of games specifically. For you, is it kind of like a shooter, in basketball, where you get hot, you can stay hot as long as you just got to keep the game the same mindset, or what is it like for you right now?
Yeah, everything is moving fairly slow for me out there. Obviously, we're gelling as a unit. Offensive line's playing great, receivers playing great, and then Joe Mixon and the backs are doing a great job in pass protection in the pass game, as well as getting us 30 yards in the run game. So we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
Do you have any idea like what you're doing? Do you hear like you're the first guy to do this, the second guy to do that, you and so are the only guys to ever do this? I mean, do you hear that stuff? And what goes through your mind when you hear names like Marino and Brady and stuff like that?
You hear it, but it doesn't really affect how you go about your day-to-day business. I'm proud of it. It's something that means I've played well for the most part, early part of my career, but hopefully I got a long road ahead of me that those aren't going to be the only things people are talking about.
Where do you hear it, since you're not on social media much?
People showing me, texting me.
Is there one thing where you said, wow, that's kind of surprising, or I wouldn't have thought that, or is there anything that
No surprises.
I know Cody said there was some rain in the forecast for Monday night's game. Do you think, I know you guys are
30% chance of rain, I believe.
Weatherman.
Well, do you think, even though you guys were mostly set up to pass, that's your strength as an offense, do you still think that you guys need to get some things going in the run game for games in November and December where the weather could potentially be a factor in a game?
Yeah, every game, you got to take into account how the conditions are. That everyone can talk about how that doesn't really affect the game. It does, and certain if it's really windy or if it's wet, it's going to affect your ability to throw the ball down the field, throw the ball in certain situations, and you got to take care of the ball a lot better. But it affects both teams, and so whoever handles those conditions is going to win the game.
Joe, when you win AFC Player of the Week or FedEx Air Player of the Week, as you've done multiple times, how do you find out? What do they give you? What's involved with that?
Well, yesterday I found out because somebody texted me congrats, and I was like, on what? I had no idea. So that's usually how I find out.
They don't send you a plaque, nothing?
No, you don't get anything.
You talked about what makes the defensive back so tough for Cleveland. I know Denzel Ward's been kind of banged up, but what do you see from a guy like him, and what makes him just tough to throw against in coverage?
Yeah, Denzel just always makes it hard. I talk about it with Cheeto all the time too. There's nothing easy, whether it's a short hitch, a go ball, a basic, an out route. There's nothing easy with Denzel. He's always going to be in the picture and competing and trying to knock the ball away. So you got to really, our timing has to be great. 2, receivers have to catch the ball violently and physically and control it through the catch because he will try to punch it out at every moment.
You anticipate them playing a lot of deep zone, or do you think that they'll put Ward on Chase one-on-one?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, in the past they've kind of just done what they do, and they're good at it. And the spots of their defense and what their defense is built to do is kind of keep everything in front. And so we'll see what they do. I'm sure they'll have a couple mix-ups for us like everybody does, but we're anticipating to do what they do.
You guys have answered the bell a couple of times during big moments in the season so far. Once against the Jets when you guys were 0-2, then against the Saints on the road when you were 2-3. What is it about the chemistry or the makeup of you guys that you respond at big moments? And I would say not going down 0-3 in the division is a pretty big moment. What
Yeah.
is it about those games?
I think it has everything to do with the character of the guys in the locker room, guys that care, it matters to them, and 3 are really good players as well. And those characteristics are what makes up great teams. I think we have a great team. We're going to continue to go out and show it. This is a big one. We've got to get our first division win on the road.
Is there a difference between when conditions are ideal, like they were on Sunday, and you come out throwing down the field, get up 21-0, and it's easier to pass on the road? How much more difficult if it does rain or the crowd going nuts for the Browns? How much more difficult does that make your job?
It just makes communication a lot harder on the road. You know, usually these in division games, crowd's really loud. Takes an extra second or 2 in the huddle, extra second or 2 at the line, so you got to be efficient with that. And then Cleveland's always rainy and windy, and so fortunately we got some wind out there today, so we'll get some work of that in practice. Then we've, going back to last year and in training camp, we've had some good rain practices that we've kind of figured some things out and been able to throw the ball. So I'm confident we'll be able to do that in any condition.
How's this week been for you, given that it's Monday night?
Yeah, it's weird for sure. I didn't really like having that extra day yesterday. I was ready to go, and then we go out and have a walkthrough, and I'm home by 1 o'clock. I was like, what do I do with the rest of my day? But now we're in the game week, so we're ready to go. Tried to find something on TV, watch tape, fell asleep at like 8:30 because I was tired of it.
Your all-time favorite Halloween costume?
I've never really dressed up for Halloween, to be honest.
Not even as a kid.
What about Halloween candy?
I,
You have a favorite?
Reese's Cups, I would say. I was a red Power Ranger one time. I liked the Power Rangers growing up.
To clarify, is it the mini cups or the regular Reese's cups?
Regular.
You think there'd be a few people dressed up as you? Think there'd be a few kids dressed up as you?
I'm sure there will be. That's usually how it goes.
I'm curious, which variation of Power Ranger?
Red Power Ranger.
No, like
The
original.
original one on the, I forget what channel it was on. I mean, I was like 6 years old. Good. Thanks.
Thank you.